a very smooth and quick journey from Tibbetts Ride to Tibbetts Corner. But if you see ahead, you can see 2 lanes of A3 traffic, and as it comes up from the underpass, some of the vehicles start pulling across into the left lane. Now, what you don't see is further on, 200-300 meters, all 3 lanes converge into a single lane. So the question has to be, why do we allow 2 lanes of A3 traffic to pull across into the 3rd lane and block the 3rd lane? What this actually means, obviously, is that now this bus, with all the passengers, has to now sit behind A3 traffic and slow it from actually getting to the Beaumont Road bus stop. It should take 20 to 30 seconds to make this journey. It's now going to take 3 or 4 minutes. Is it just a delay to the bus? Well, no. This lane, if it was a bus lane, could also be used for emergency services. If you imagine now there's an ambulance, fire engine, police trying to get to Wandsworth for an emergency, where do they go? They're behind 3 lanes of traffic, so they have to fight their way through, literally. Vehicles pulling onto the pavement, which is obviously dangerous as well for pedestrians, in order to get out of the way when, if this was a bus lane, the emergency services could just go straight down. In addition to that, the fact that we've got 3 lanes of traffic rather than 2 lanes of traffic means that air pollution in this area has now increased, because we have all of the extra vehicle exhaust, which means anyone who's on the pavement, pedestrians, cyclists, children, it means now they're actually breathing high level of air pollution, not just because it's 3 lanes rather than 2 lanes, but also they are now closer to the vehicle exhaust. In terms of who this really impacts on, well, air pollution inside vehicles can be 9 to 12 times higher than on the pavement. So everyone on this bus is now being exposed to increased air pollution. We've got the vehicles directly in front of us. In this instance, it's a diesel van. Every time it accelerates, that's 10 times the emissions as a moving vehicle. Every time it idles, that's 2 times the emissions. Every time it applies its brakes, it's small bits of particulate matter, microscopic bits of rubber, metal, plastic, oil being released into the air. And all of this is finding its way with the exhaust, NO2, and other noxious gases into the bus. Obviously the bus itself is a diesel bus, so every time it's accelerating, 12 times the emissions, and when it's idling, twice the emissions, and it's not airtight, so some of that is coming into the bus as well. So just forcing the bus to actually be in this position where it's having to queue up behind the A3 traffic, which again, 2 lanes of A3 traffic, pulling on over to make 3 lanes of A3 traffic, and just 100 meters forward, it all has to converge back into a single lane. So it's basically being used as an overspill, and as it's being used as an overspill, the knock-on effects are increased air pollution exposure for everybody. We should also make a mention of the bus drivers who have to do this route multiple times a day, multiple times a week over their shift, and they're unnecessarily being exposed to all this additional air pollution. TfL, let's make this a bus lane. Now, here's the example of what happens when the 2 lanes of A3 traffic are allowed to spread over into 3 lanes. Now we have an ambulance desperately trying to get down to an emergency in Wandsworth, and rather than being able to come down the bus lane and quickly get to the emergency, which could be life-saving, we're requiring all these vehicles to now pull up onto the pavement, trying to move out of the way, when it would have been so quick and easy for that ambulance to have just gone straight down what should be a bus lane. Now, we've been asking TfL to make this a bus lane for about 1.5 years now. They were kind enough to come up and visit. They looked at it, they understood the problem, If you look further up the road, you can see that going underneath the underpass, there is no traffic. So these 50 vehicles blocking what should be a bus lane could easily fit behind the 2 lanes of A3 traffic and would end up idling next to concrete. If they did go further back, then they would be next to the trees of Putney Heath. But instead, they're blocking the bus lane and they're blocking what would be a route for the emergency services to take. And this is the consequence. A delay which could cost someone's life.